This is the Adidas Hyperboost, a completely new sneaker from Adidas that absolutely destroys the iconic Ultraboost. But could these be even better than the extremely popular Adidas Evo SL? Well, I've been wearing them every single day for the past week, 10,000 steps a day, running, walking, to the gym, casual wear, and I do have an answer to that question. But first, a blindfold test with someone that has never even seen the shoes. He is gonna have no idea which shoe is on what foot, but we're starting with the Ultraboost and the Hyperboost.
Come on, bud, they've seen this series before.
Oh wait, that's the wrong foot.
No wonder it wouldn't go on. Wait. The one on the left feels thicker and more spongy. It feels like there's more in there if I was to really hit the ground. Whereas the one on the right, less so. Oh, actually, the one on the right has a softer upper. Well, which one edges it? I'm giving it to my left foot.
For comfort.
For comfort.
Now, okay, so what do you feel? Listen, these are competitors, okay? So these should feel somewhat similar. Are you feeling that, or are you feeling they're vastly different?
I mean, they're not vastly different, but the one on the right is softer. Yeah.
Any other thing can you tell with the upper or weight or anything like that?
I will say that the one on the left, it does feel like it's got a thicker stack, maybe a little oomph on the heel. The one on the right though, if I was just walking around, running errands, it's comfy.
If you could just pick one for comfort, which one are you picking? Just walking around daily basis?
I'm going right.
Right foot, okay.
Right. Whoa, okay. I don't even need to start walking to be able to tell you that the shoe on the right has a significant amount of stack more than the one on the left. So yeah, the one on the left, it's firm, it's really light, the upper is very breathable. The one on the right, however, feels like you've put a cloud around your foot. I really love how breathable and airy the one on the left is.
And then overall comfort, which one would you pick?
Oh, if I'm being honest, probably the right foot, but there is something I really like about the left. Woo! There we go. All right. I'll send you my invoice.
Okay, so what is this shoe exactly? What is it for? Why does it exist? And who, if anyone, should be considering buying these? Well, as the name suggests, this is the first ever real replacement to the Ultraboost. In fact, it's not just an Ultraboost replacement, it's a boost cushioning replacement for the entire lineup. This is a brand new boost compound that feels very different to what we've, I guess, grown used to over the past decade. The Ultraboost rebrand is unexpected to say the least, but is it a good or bad thing? Well, very clearly, the Hyperboost does have a completely new look, and it's refreshed in a lot of different ways that really shines light on the Ultraboost lineup that exists on Adidas's website. The Ultraboost has been in a pretty weird space for quite a while now. It really does feel like they should have updated this ages ago. What started as an absolute revolution in cushioning and comfort when it was first introduced, to then quickly getting consumed by hype and casual wearers. Adidas decided to frantically reposition boost cushioning into more of their casual shoes. And honestly, it worked. People loved it. Back then, if you wanted a comfortable pair of shoes, you bought Boost. It was in every Yeezy, every NMD collaboration, all of the different sneaker spin-offs. When all of that hype died down and other brands started leaning into comfortable footwear and introducing new foams, the Ultraboost was left behind pretty quickly. I mean, every new version of the Ultraboost just seemed to get stranger and stranger. The last pair I remember really enjoying was the Ultraboost 23. I used to wear it for running and casual wear, and as you can see, it's pretty cooked at this point. But as time went on and people started experiencing some of the new foams that other brands were creating, the Ultraboost just became expensive and heavy, and just a much more inferior option in comparison to what else was available. The latest innovation that Adidas made to the Ultraboost was with Lightboost, essentially keeping it practically the same, just a little bit lighter. But at this point, the Ultraboost attempting to claw back its running shoe heritage didn't really work. People had already moved on. Nowadays, thicker midsoles and lighter foams that have more responsive cushioning are all trending, none of which the Ultraboost really has. Now, saying all of that, Adidas has had massive success with their brand new running shoe lineup. As you know, the Evo SL and Adidas Pro line absolutely exploded, and this was kind of seen as the replacement to boost cushioning. I mean, these all have Lightstrike Pro, something significantly different, and this this was seen as Adidas moving on from Boost technology, moving to Lightstrike Pro, which all of these shoes have. That is until today with the Hyperboost. And honestly, after wearing and testing and running in these things, I actually think these are going to find a perfect middle ground between Lightstrike Pro and the Heritage Boost models. The new Hyperboost is quite literally the best of both worlds, and I think has a real shot at becoming an extremely attractive option for a shoe in this category. And that's not just for runners, but I think for casual wearers as well, because we're about to see an entire new lineup starting with this sneaker right here. But before we get into comparisons with different sneakers, let me give you all of the stats that you probably want to know about. So first off, price. Expensive. At the time of recording, Adidas hasn't officially announced this pair of shoes, but from different retailers that have already loaded these up, they are about 220 euros. So that will firmly put these in the $200 plus range. That's tough. Midsole, obviously max stack. We're looking at about 45 millimeters of cushioning in the heel and about, I think it says on the bottom, 36 millimeters in the forefoot. It literally writes it underneath the shoe. Outsole traction is an interesting switch. They moved away from continental rubber, which was always found on the Ultraboost, to now light traction. That's actually something that's on the Adios Pro 4. There is no plate in this shoe, so it's not carbon plated or anything like that. So I do believe these are firmly aimed at the Nike Vomero Pluses of the world. I think these shoes are direct competitors, but we'll talk about that comparison in a minute. Now, the midsole is still beaded slightly just like the Ultraboost that we have known for over a decade at this point, but it feels very different. They're calling this Hyperboost Pro cushioning. It's nowhere near as dense, it's softer, feels a lot more bouncy, and it is definitely a less obvious styrofoam look that you get with the Ultraboost. I mean, very much on foot and in hand, it feels like an exact middle ground between Lightstrike Pro, the smooth, soft stuff, and Ultraboost, the more rough, textured, styrofoam looking cushioning. Now, this foam is something that we're going to be seeing through a bunch of different models. This is just the first introduction called the Hyperboost Edge, but they've already kind of teased and leaked out a few different casual shoes that use this midsole, all called the Hyperboost. So I think it is very much a replacement to the Ultraboost. Some other details would be the upper, which is very futuristic, minimal, almost like hardly any branding except for obviously the 3 stripes on the midsole. They call this Prime Weave, the red portion that you see on the top. It's relatively breathable, but nothing spectacular. You've also got some more of that weave fabric on the toe box, which again just adds a little bit of breathability, and then everything else is just kind of a minimalistic fused rubber overlay. One of my favorite details is the little pillows that you get inside around the ankle just to give you a lot more cushioning there. It helps trim down some of the bulky weight that you would find on some other models. A great visual example would be the Vomero Plus, which uses a lot of cushioning around that ankle, whereas this is a lot slimmer and definitely shaves off some weight. But those little pillows do provide enough around the ankle to still keep these things very comfortable. So if Hyperboost is going to be the new Ultraboost, what happens to the Ultraboost line? Well, it's hard to say exactly, I mean, until this officially launches through Adidas, but I don't see how this shoe exists without completely cannibalizing the sales for the Ultraboost. The comparisons between these two shoes is night and day. It's not even a consideration. First off, weight. These are a lot lighter than even Lightboost. They've managed to shave off 40 grams of weight. These are both the same size, and these are 40 grams lighter, and that's considering these have a lot more cushioning in there. 45 millimeters, and I believe the Ultraboost is about 36 millimeter stack. That puts this pair of shoes in terms of weight a lot closer to the Evo SL. In fact, weighing these two, this is only 10 grams heavier. So if you liked that super lightweight feeling that the Evo SL had, you're going to practically get that with this pair of shoes. Similarly, this new Boost compound has a lot more of a snappy, responsive feel, just like Lightstrike Pro, whereas when you try on the Ultraboost, it does feel a lot more flat and just kind of, lifeless, if that's kind of the best way I could put it. However, Hyperboost Pro is actually softer underfoot in comparison to this version of Lightstrike Pro. Again, there's different types of Lightstrike Pro depending on what model you go for, but specifically comparing it to the Evo SL, this is softer. So what that means is this pair of shoes is going to be kind of targeting the more tempo runs, the longer, more comfortable runs that you do, not necessarily for speed. That will be more for the Adios Pros and maybe even the Evo SL. So I do think this is going to be the new flagship for the max cushioning, max comfort category of sneaker from Adidas. And honestly, I think they needed it. So how do these stack up to, I guess, the biggest biggest competitor in this space, the brand new and beloved Nike Vomero Plus. This is regarded as probably the most comfortable Nike shoe that you can possibly buy right now. So are these a little bit better or worse? Now, I'm not going to do a full-on comparison. We'll save something like that for a different video, but in short, I really enjoy the Hyperboost. Now, ZoomX cushioning still it has that soft, squishy feel while giving you a little bit of responsiveness, which is why ZoomX is so good. But I am honestly impressed with Hyperboost. I didn't think that there was any innovation left in the boost space. I thought that foam was just kind of dead and gone. Now, I do think that there will be some other versions of this that I potentially will like even more, but as the first one to kind of show off this new foam, I think this is a really, really cool pair. I'm a little bit annoyed at the price point. I think it's a little bit expensive. But visually speaking, I think it nails it, especially in some of the other colorways. Not entirely sold on the red and white look, but there is a lot more in the pipeline. Again, this is just the beginning of the new era for Adidas and Boost cushioning technology. But in summary, this is an extremely comfortable option from Adidas, and I think a lot of people are really going to like this, both for running and of course for casual wear. I think it's an extremely good looking pair of shoes that will provide that daily feel. I mean, like I said, when I was casually walking around in these things, they felt great. They handled that brilliantly, to the point where I potentially would even pick these over the Evo SL strictly for comfort. It gives you the soft cushion to a larger degree over the Lightstrike Pro Evos. So yeah, overall, very excited to see where this technology goes in the future and different looking versions of this, but so far, so good. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. What do you think about Adidas's move away from the Ultraboost? Do you think it's going to die out? And what do you think about this from a visual standpoint? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and like always, I'm going to leave another video in the top left-hand corner. Click on it to check it out.